You're listening to the OMG Hour.
Welcome, everybody. It is the social distancing episode number 362 of the OMG Hour. Tico, stay away. I, of course, am Sean Evans, otherwise known as Zion Tane, sticking very, very far away from Tico.
Well, I don't blame you. I mean, I've probably got something. Tico, Mr. Second Place, in my isolation chamber.
Yeah.
Which I also call my office.
Same.
I have been self-isolating for
a year now?
I don't know. Yeah, it's just over a year.
You're probably the safest one out there right now.
At the end of the day, the fact that I am currently unemployed and my wife had the surgery, so she was away from work.
When all this hit.
When all this hit, and I had several phone interviews set up. So the 3 days prior to the end of school, Leah stayed home because I didn't have anywhere I wanted to, I didn't have time to drop her off at school and pick her up on time.
I thought you were going to say before the end of the world.
I was going to say before the end of the world, which technically,
right?
I mean, everything's closed or should be. We're close to that. So this is episode 362. This is week 2 of social distancing and lockdowns and stuff like that.
I've been working at home all week. This is actually my computer laptop. Yeah, good. I can't even speak. I've been home all week. I don't know how you do it, Tico. So I'm working from home. This is my work laptop. I'm sitting here. I'm working. And it's like, you know what I find hard, Tico, is I'm used to working at the office with dual monitors, like dual large screen. And then I get home and I'm like little laptop screen, little laptop keyboard.
Yeah, all hunched in.
How do I can't, it's so weird working on just the laptop because I'm used to an actual ergonomic keyboard, big screen monitors, dual monitor, which actually helps a lot with what I do. Right? Yeah. Because I can have the code on one side, one monitor, and testing the app on the other, and I can just switch back and forth very easily. But now, it actually makes it a little more difficult, and I'm like, oh, I just need another monitor. But
I could use another one too for my nothing that I've been doing.
Well, I actually self-quarantined. I'll tell you why. I went to work Monday, and then Dorothy, my wife, she texted me during the day. She says, "Yeah, so." A woman came into work because everyone knows my wife and my daughter work at Walmart. And she says, a woman came into the store today sneezing and hacking all over everything, wherever she was. And then the store gets a call from her husband to say, oh, by the way, our son has just tested positive for coronavirus. Great. Thank you for coming in today, ma'am.
Yeah, that's one of the irritating things. She would have known. I mean, this is not a test you're picking up off the shelf and going home and taking.
She didn't come to Walmart to get the test.
No, this is not like an online. So she knew that her son was due to be tested for this, was not feeling well enough to get a test in the first place. Because right now, if you go in and you say, I'm worried, I want to have a test, they're like, come back when you have symptoms, which means your son had symptoms. So she came in knowing full well there was a chance of this, and didn't bother. It's insanity. It's a weird situation. So I went out yesterday.
Well, just to finish my stories. Yeah. Once she told us that, I'm like, well, you know what? I have no idea what's going on. Because Aria's out on the floor. Yep. Right. Aria could be a carrier now. Dorothy's in the back office, but never know. Right. So I'm like, well, I don't want to take chance. I'm not going to come into the office not knowing. So I'm going to work at home this week and possibly next week, sort of the 14-day quarantine thing, and see how things go. So far, everything's fine. We're all still feeling fine, right? Yeah. But I'm in light of everything going on, I'm not taking that chance by going into work every day in an enclosed environment with recycled air, for one thing, right? So, so I've I literally self-quarantined myself at home, and I haven't gone anywhere this week.
And this is what people should be doing at this point, is don't put yourself in a situation. If you have the ability to work from home,
then do it.
Like, if you can do your job and not drop, it's one thing, for you to be able to work at home, which you can. Like I know there's people who can't. There's people like like if you work at Tim Hortons, you can't. And we joked about. I said, well, tell Dorothy she should be working from home as well.
Yeah.
She works at Walmart. It's like get those an iPad on a broomstick on a one of those Segway things, and
just like in Community, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went out yesterday. I'm feeling fine. I haven't been out, so I mean we do need some groceries and stuff like that. So I went out, and it was just an odd feeling. Like a couple of things happened. Number one, like I walked past a woman in an aisle, not close or anything like that, but as we crossed paths, like she turned her head and like averted her head and I'm thinking to myself, like if this was a week ago, I would have been so freaking offended by that motion, and now I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Don't take chances.
I know.
I felt the other thing I found toilet paper in a store.
Oh, dude, look. I have a package of gold right there behind me. Look at that.
Know. And this is the thing. When it's such a weird thing, but we would have never thought 2 weeks ago that finding toilet paper in a store, and you're like, man, it's like you've just found like that rare video game you've been looking for, or comic book or something like that. It's like, I can't believe I got one of the last
it's the 500th
Nintendo classics. And
it's the 500th flag from the original Assassin's Creed.
Like it's just this feeling of accomplishment.
Was it 500th agility orb from Crackdown?
Yeah. So, but as I went into the store. That happened to have it, and I was just going in to get some groceries, and they happened to have some. But some guy was walking out, and he had toilet paper in his arms. And as we were passing each other, he hugged the thing tighter and turned it away, like we are in a scenario where I'm going to grab this from him and run.
Get your knife ready.
I mean, I was going to. So he made the right move, but still, It's just the changes in social norms already.
It is stupid out there.
Is ridiculous. I went to Costco, and Costco has carts and pallets lined up to create the social distancing signs saying keep 6.5 feet away from everybody else. Don't line up here, like line up and then keep 6 feet back.
It is absolutely crazy. I mean, okay, so in our cities, and I think Hamilton is about the same, we've got a lot of things. A lot of the public work stuff is closed. The public parks, the public skate works, all of the the anything, and the public community centers, they're all closed. Of course, our government has shut down, and I don't know if this is Canada wide or is it provincial, but all restaurants are shut down. This is
currently provincial.
Is it provincial?
Ontario has mandated this. I was actually speaking to my son Jordan, who lives in Alberta. He works at a Tim Hortons, and they are still open.
Okay, so our restaurants and bars are all closed. Restaurants can only serve food if it's takeout, and it's sealed. And I believe even if you do takeout, I got this letter from Swiss Chalet that what they will do is you basically have to go up, you have to knock on the door to let them know you're there, and they will bring the food out and then put it down, and then you open the door and take your food and go.
Yeah,
what is going on? This is crazy.
Yeah.
Right? And even if you order things from Skip the Dishes, they now have a contactless option for delivery. So the driver will pick up the food, and the restaurants have to fully seal everything now. Tight knots on the bags, or completely sealed so it can't be opened by the delivery person, by anyone. The delivery person will then put it on your porch and walk away, and then you'll get notified that your food is on your porch, and you go out and get it.
And listen, we laugh about these things because they feel so ridiculous to us.
It is ridiculous.
It is absolutely a necessity right now when you see the numbers climbing the way they are. They're talking about flattening the curve, and everybody's laughing this off. About. Yeah, and people are laughing this off like, oh, it's not a big deal. I feel fine. I'm young. I'm not going to... Like, you see all these morons at spring break in Florida right now.
It's so stupid. Listen,
if I get sick, I get sick. It's those morons who are going to get people sick who can't afford to get sick, who can't be... aren't going to recover. And that's the problem. Flattening the curve is basically everybody is probably going to eventually get this. Yes. The whole idea of flattening the curve is to have that everybody getting it in a spread out period of time. So the hospitals
can deal with it.
The hospitals can deal with it. There's a limited number of beds. You need, again, you stretch this out. It gives them more time to work on a vaccine. It gives them more time to work on figuring out how to keep people safe. There are not enough beds for the number of people that are getting sick right now. You see this in Italy right now, where their numbers are just spiking every day. So like this is, and I don't think, I think that these weird new social norms are going to continue. I don't think 6 months from now, a year from now, everybody's going to feel super comfortable with a handshake of a stranger. Like, I think that we're going to be like, it's going to be more fist bumps and elbow bumps, and I don't know.
I don't think it's going to get that bad, to be honest with you. I mean, listen, COVID-19 is a new strain of the coronavirus, and once they figure out what the vaccine is, then it's there's going to be a vaccine for it. And there is going to be, it is a season for this. It is, we haven't had a pandemic like this for 100 years.
Yeah.
The Spanish flu was 1918, and that was the last time something swept the world, essentially.
Yeah.
SARS was not this big. MERS was not this big,
No.
It didn't sweep the world like this is. So we haven't had this in 100 years. So,
and I think Spanish flu killed 1% of the world population.
Yeah, I don't remember the numbers. I saw.
I just watched the movie Contagion, and they talked about that in that movie. I don't know if you've seen that movie or not.
Years ago.
It went from being Warner Brothers' 270th title in their catalog to the number 2 movie in their catalog.
All these movies, all these. I'm watching TV this week, and I'm watching just a simple show like Superstore, new episode out just this week, and I'm watching it, and it's the St. Patrick's Day episode, and I'm like, wait a minute, no, that's not what St. Patrick's Day was like yesterday.
Yep.
Or 2 days ago. And I'm thinking all these things, like you're watching TV and you're like, why are you not social distancing? Like all these people, come on, why?
You're looking at these things, like people high five.
Oh yeah. You're viewing even movies and television shows. I feel like we're viewing in a completely different light all of a sudden.
Yeah. We watched back-to-back nights. We watched Outbreak and Contagion. Good. I mean, you know what? I'll be honest with you. Watching Contagion, people say, "Oh, well, it's insensitive because no." I think that's important because that movie will scare the crap out of you. If you've watched how that escalated and what can possibly happen, everybody should be watching stuff like that and being scared, because I think that will help. People are too cavalier.
I don't think people need to be scared.
I think that they need to be more scared than a lot of people are. I'm not saying people need to be scared of this. I think that this is something that we will. I think that there are people that are too cavalier with this.
Seriously, not to be scared. Yeah. I think it needs to be taken seriously.
Yeah,
but I don't think it needs to be feared.
Yes. Now, some good things have happened from this. The Universal announced last week.
Oh gosh, yes.
So Universal announced
That's supposed to say
gush.
Gosh, not gush.
Gush. That's a new OMG-ism. Universal announced last week, due to all the movie theaters are now shut down due to that, and the extremely poor box offices that they were seeing for several of their movies that are in theaters now,
like Bloodshot.
The Hunt, which had already seen a pushback from August of last year.
Yeah, there was The Hunt, there was Bloodshot, and then I think there was Onward, Disney's Onward.
Disney's Onward was just announced today.
Invisible Man was set to release or just released?
Just released.
Okay.
So these ones that did not have the option, like we've seen several movies that have pushed their release because they're hoping to get that theatrical release still.
Yes.
But the ones that have already hit theaters are pretty much sort of floundering. Their numbers are horrible. So Universal announced it's $19.99, I believe. And you can watch these at home. You get them for 48 hours. You can watch these now at home on demand.
Video on demand available now for a lot. And I believe Onward, didn't Disney just say it's coming to Disney Plus soon?
Today. It's being announced for on demand today.
Yes.
And I didn't see the actual date, but it is coming to Disney Plus soon.
Disney Plus soon. So, this is you kind of wonder if this might be the future of video releases.
This has been teased and tested for a number of years, where they've tried this with some movies that are not necessarily top run movies and stuff like that. Where to see what happens if I release. I remember Piranha 3 Double D being one of them that was a in theater. Listen, it's the first one that comes to mind. It's not a good movie, but I remember it coming out in theater and video on demand on the same day.
Next you're going to tell me it was Sharknado.
No, that was only. I think it was only Sci-Fi that came out of. But so this movie, and they wanted to test the theater movie numbers versus the video on demand numbers, and to see sort of balance out where they were going to be. And we haven't seen a ton of movies do this, and we haven't obviously seen until now a basically what they would consider a AAA-ish title come out like this. And I think this is going to be a huge testing bed for them, because the actual movie theater box office, if they feel that they can make the same amount of money without paying a cut to Cineplex and all of these places, we may be seeing some of these theaters not really open up again. Yeah,
I mean, I hope it doesn't come to that, because I do still enjoy the theater, the movie going experience. I mean, I love that experience, and I don't think that experience cannot be replicated at home. Right.
Well, it can, but you have to have a very big home, a lot of seats, a gigantic screen, a bunch of employees making you popcorn and drinks. I will come and spill stuff on your floor if you want you, Sean.
And in that case, I might as well just open a theater.
Well, yeah. But listen, if you really want that experience, I will come spill some soda on the floor in between your couch and coffee table. Does that help you?
No. That's not the experience I'm looking for.
This
is not the experience I'm looking for.
You could just send me $40 anytime you're thinking about watching a movie at home. Just send me $40 for, your family to sit down on the couch.
That is also not the experience I'm looking for.
Well, that's half price of actually going to the theater if you're taking your whole family.
Move along. So I mean, I don't mind that. I mean, obviously, a lot of people are in the house. Nobody's going out. So we've got some new movies to rent or to watch. And I think that's great. And they're like, it's a weird sensation, because it's a first run movie that you're suddenly watching on TV, on your television, right?
And you're saying like this, I shouldn't be able to rent this for
I shouldn't be able
4 or 5 more months.
I shouldn't be watching this right now, but I feel like it's one of those, man, I feel special because I suddenly got this screener for a movie no one else is watching, even though everyone can do it, but it kind of feels that way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Star Wars, it was supposed to be, I think, the 31st it was coming out. It's now already dropped digitally for people to watch the rise of the Skywalker.
Yes. Frozen 2 was released 3 months early.
Not just released 3 months early, but released onto Disney Plus.
That's what I mean. It was supposed to come out in June, and it's out now. Like, it came out last Sunday. And it was one of those things where Disney said on Saturday, by the way, we're going to do this. You can watch Frozen 2 tomorrow.
Yeah.
3 months early.
My favorite type of announcement. Available now.
Woo!
Those are my favorite types of announcements. And it's great because they are seeing what's happening. And these are companies that are taking big financial hits. I saw a satellite or overhead drone footage or something like that of the Disney parks right now, and it is weird.
I want a drone. I want a drone so I can go outside.
You'd have to go outside to get one, though.
Well, no, I could have Amazon deliver it.
You can have Amazon deliver one. That's true.
Maybe does Amazon deliver drones by drone yet?
They should.
Maybe they should just deliver your drone, and
just a box that's floating and just bouncing along the street.
Like they take it out of the box for you, and then they just deliver it. The drone just flies to your house, and there you are.
And then parks itself inside the box.
Yeah.
It's a weird, Disney's losing a ton of money not opening their park. It's like, I don't know, like the sheer number. I know how much we paid when we went there. So for them to be closed a day just from one customer, they're down like $10,000.
Oh, if not 100,000 or more. You know what I mean?
No, I'm just talking one customer.
Oh, one customer. Yeah, exactly.
But they're to the best of my knowledge, they are paying their employees during this shutdown at present time. I don't know if that'll continue forever, but they are paying their affected staff presently. But they're coming out and they're saying we need to do something, and they're releasing. They know kids are stuck in their houses.
This whole pandemic really, and I'm not even being facetious here. Well, I kind of am, but I'm not. This whole situation, everything that's going on in the world right now, it really gives me a whole new perspective on like the world at the beginning of like The Walking Dead.
Yeah. Like how that must have been for these people.
How that started, and how the world how everything started to shut down as the world of The Walking Dead began. And it's like, it totally gives me a whole new perspective on
for any
what
of those things
must have been like.
Yeah.
Even though it's a fictitious world, you still kind of wonder, how did society get to where it is now in The Walking Dead?
Yeah, and this is exactly what it would have been, and it's a lot of information that's not being passed along. We've seen a lot of stuff talked about how Trump did not share a lot of information early on in January when he could have, in order to have gotten ahead of this.
Oh, but I thought, didn't you hear him say he's taken it seriously the whole time?
Yeah, I also heard him say this is not my fault and all of that crap. But a lot of those things, and you have to wonder at the beginning at the Walking Dead, the same sort of things. Like it reminds me of the mayor from Jaws. Oh. Just a lot of the mayor from the
said
city.
Everything's safe, no worries.
He's like, this is the biggest tourist weekend of the year. The beaches will stay open because they're afraid of losing the tourist dollars.
Welcome to Florida.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because Florida hasn't done a thing about closing their beaches because it's March
spring break.
It's spring break.
And they don't want to lose the money coming in. I don't know. A lot of this is you look at this and you're like, and again, we're sitting here thinking this is a situation that is reasonable and it's going to get better, and we just practice social distancing and we behave ourselves and we act like proper human beings. But I can imagine at the beginning of The Walking Dead, this is a lot of people sitting in their houses having the same conversations.
Yeah.
Well, we just behave, we treat each other with respect and everything like that until we don't, and until something gets worse. And I really hope that that's not where we're headed with this. But at the same time, I do have like a tinge of fear at a certain point, like, what's my apocalypse plan? Sort of thing, like,
How do you survive? Yeah, I know.
Like at least in The Walking Dead, it's like, like everybody turns to zombies, and like, the actual resources are left available for the people who aren't turned into zombies. Like, yeah, it'll get, be more dangerous to get around, but
sure.
Like the zombies aren't going around eating up using up all the toilet paper.
Well, true. That's true. At least you have toilet paper.
And in this scenario, we're talking billions of people that are all fighting over the same limited resources that I'm hoping sustain.
Well, don't worry. Purell will keep the zombies away. And so will toilet paper, apparently.
Yeah, but what about the werewolves, Sean?
Let's not talk about the werewolves. We haven't got to that disease yet.
Well, so, we're talking about like things being closed down. Things, we're keeping open the essential services right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Your hospitals, your grocery stores, your pharmacies, and of course, your EB Games locations.
Total essential services, right?
Yeah,
you need your entertainment and your games and your toys. I thought that was a given.
Yeah, so we have both worked there. I've actually been a manager at EB Games, and so I've been on these conference calls and stuff like that where they're pushing stuff like that. And we're in a spot. We have friends, good friends who still do work at EB Games, and we know they're being told and business as usual.
Glenn's been on our show.
Yeah, that's what I meant by good friends. I just wasn't name dropping.
So no, Glenn has been told, no, you're going to work.
Yep, 40 hours a week, business as usual.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Essential services.
Don't worry. If you run out of hand sanitizer, just buy some more yourself.
Is that what they were told?
They've been told they were getting a shipment of hand sanitizer and cleaning supplies, but they've run out, and so they've told the managers just go and get their own, which of course is not possible because they don't exist anywhere in the world anymore.
Right.
But they're basically being told, yeah, business as usual. I think they're cutting back on trade-ins of some stuff right now.
They've cut down on trade-ins. In fact, I got the email today from the CEO of GameStop saying, here's what we're doing. So they limited it to 10 customers in the store at a time, which, think about this for a second. Let's just think about this for a split second here.
Yeah.
You've limited it to 10 customers in the store at a time. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. You've put in, keep in there's no lineups, keep 6 feet away in a line, distancing, and there are no more trade-ins. So you're not handing stuff back and forth. But think about this for a second. That means if there are more than 10 people, that means there is a queue outside the store. There is a group of people outside the store waiting to get in.
This is also a situation where if the first person of the day has the coronavirus and comes in and touches something,
it's done.
And now you're just, everybody who's coming in after that person is catching the thing anyway. So they should not be open. I mean, I cannot remember the last time I actually went into EB Games to actually buy something. We are living in a world where video games are a digital product.
GameStop is not an essential service. There is nothing at GameStop that, if you wanted it, I'm going to say want because there is nothing at GameStop you need, that you could not get it online.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean, if at very least they could be working with the same, put your money in the tray and I'll put the basket in here, and we like the spy dead drop scenario in order to get your games. There's no reason why they couldn't be doing something like that and completely limit. But no, the doors are open and these people are being forced and threatened.
Remember they're being threatened with their job if they don't keep the stores open. Remember the consumers distributing model?
Yeah.
You go to a catalog, you get a little piece of paper, you write down the items you want, you take that to a person, they go into the back, get what you want.
Like the beer store. When you go to the beer store, you go up, I'll take one of those, and you point to something that comes along a tray.
It's a roller track.
Number one, I'll be honest with you. That would be freaking awesome to get my video games and stuff like that. I might actually start shopping physically again if they came along a rolly track like that.
Well, conveyor belt. Here's you pay for it. You punch in a number or something. You pay for it. Actually, it's voice activated now. No touching. No soup for you. You put in your card. You pay for it, and then along comes a conveyor belt, and you take your package and go.
There are ways around this. In New York right now, which is in a state of emergency, and they have shut down anything that is non-essential services.
Except GameStop.
Except GameStop, which is basically saying if the sheriff shows up to close you down, give them this phone number to call at corporate, and we'll talk to them.
Are you serious?
That is basically what they're being told. I personally, again, I have good friends who work at EB Games and GameStop still. I will not buy anything from EB Games anymore, and I realize that is at a certain point that it will affect their jobs, but they need to treat their people better. I think the best things for people who are working there right now and would be to not be working there anymore, to be in a situation where they are not being put in that type of a situation by their employer.
I agree. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous that they're doing this. And I think they may be the only store that's doing this, because I've got emails from, I've gotten emails from stores I didn't even realize I was on the mailing list for, telling me that they're shutting their store down. That they're closing for however long.
1, 2, 3 weeks, whatever, their employees' health and safety and their customers' health and safety is more important. I am more likely to shop, and I've seen this from a number of grocery stores that are now opening their first hour of the day is opening to seniors and people who have are immune compromised. Yeah. A number of grocery stores are doing that. That means those people are getting first access to the product that they need that they can't physically fight their way to the shelf to get. They're hitting a store when they're cleaning overnight, so they're hitting the store at the cleanest possible scenario. So they're putting the vulnerable people in our society at the top of the line, and that's what they should be doing.
Yeah.
Those are the stores where I'm going to shop again. The stores that are taking care of the customer, taking care of their employees.
Well,
those are the places where you go. And I think that this situation is going to be very telling as to which businesses are going to thrive afterwards and not.
It is. I'll tell you right now. It is. From where we were, talking on the show last week to where we are this week. It's like, wow, it's a huge difference. And that's like I can't even imagine where things are going to be a week from now. Even I'm hoping things are better a week from now. I hope things are, I hope some of these shutdowns are helping with the lowering the curve. But I don't even know. Like, Canada has not been hit super hard yet.
No, we're still presently, I believe, under 1,000 confirmed cases.
Right.
It's obviously it's a big number, and much higher than last week's like 200.
Oh yeah.
That we were at. We've seen some deaths due to this already in Ontario and in Canada. And I'm seeing more and more postings of people where they say, this is only affecting old people. There was a gentleman in California who was 34.
It's not just old people. I just saw something today about a woman lost her husband. He was 51.
51. I read that as well. Gentleman from Milton.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just old people. I'm sorry. Sure, it's a higher... See, people are confusing the elderly with it's a higher risk for them. It doesn't mean it only affects them. It's just a higher risk, right? Yeah,
and I mean, I myself, I have asthma. I have what's called exercise-induced asthma. So I, of course, strive to never exercise, just in case. But it is a situation that it means I have a compromised, a respiratory system.
Yeah.
So if I were to get sick, I would be at a higher risk. At my young age of whatever age I am,
29?
Let's go 28. Let's go 28. I'm older than that, but...
Well, if you're 28, that means I'm 32. And I'll take it.
Are you only, you're more than 4 years older than me.
Shh.
You're like...
You were born in 76.
Yeah, I know.
That would make it... Okay, I'm 33. If you're 28, I'm 33.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure everybody knows who's the youngest here.
Yeah, me.
No.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, so thanks, GameStop. Let's talk about some non-virus related stuff, shall we?
All right.
So this week was a really, I think it was about an hour long presentation by Mark Cerny about the PlayStation 5 and all of it was literally a technical details presentation.
Yeah.
I saw somebody, listen, the whole thing was fascinating to me. I don't know what half of it means, but it was just him talking about the details of their, how they designed it, the philosophies they designed it around, talking about the hardware and how they get super fast loading, which I think is fascinating. Like, he's talking about where a game literally can load 5 gigabytes of data in less than a second. Right?
Yeah.
And so they're talking about the speeds of the bus and the RAM and the hard drive, and how a game doesn't need a loading screen anymore because it'll just instantly load. When you die and it has to reload the level, it'll just instantly be there, right? When fast travel literally is fast travel. You want to go from here to here? It's like, okay, fast travel. Are you sure? Yes. Boom. There you go. You're done. And I'm not even exaggerating. That's how fast it's going to be able to load worlds. And it was just really fascinating to listen to him. But not only that, but I don't know if you've ever listened to Mark Cerny speak, but he has got the most soothing voice of any game developer I've ever heard. Like, where is he? Why is he not part of the Calm app reading nighttime stories? Because that's where he needs to employ his talents. But you know what? The PS5 announcements were really, really fascinating, and I'm not going to go into the details of them. You can go back and, watch the video itself. But I'm really excited for the new hardware and for these. Literally, he's saying that games can get you right back to where you were the moment you start the game. There is you can skip right by the title screens because it can just load that quickly into the game itself, right? No menus, no start screen, no loading screens of any kind because it can load that fast. And they've also designed it for expandable storage internally as well as externally. So you can actually tell it to load, like say your old PS4 games, you can have it load onto an external drive, and they'll play just as good as they did on the PS4 Pro type thing, right? And you can leave them on the external, but anything built for PS5 should be on the internal because that's where they're designed for. They're designed to be internally stored to get that speed, to get that,
and that makes
the response.
That makes sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now, of course, he talked about teraflops and stuff, and a lot of people took the numbers at face value. So I think he said the teraflops was like 10.3 teraflops or something, and I think Xbox Series X is something like 15. Is that right? 15 teraflops.
Yeah.
And of course, everyone latches onto the numbers. Oh, 10.3 is less than 15, so Xbox is better. And I'm like, you know what?
This is the same people that look at their car engine and go, well, I got to get a 6-cylinder instead of a 4-cylinder because I know nothing about cars. I don't know what it does. If my car turns on and moves when I press the gas, then that's all I care about.
Here's the thing. If you look at the actual stats, the actual hardware stats of the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 side by side, they are practically the same device.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a couple little things that are different. The memory is the same. The CPU is the same. Come on. Like, it's literally the same CPU. Okay. And people are talking about the teraflops. Well, you know what? Teraflops is not the only thing going on here. Sure, the Xbox Series X has a higher teraflop number, and that's the number Xbox has been touting. I get it. They've touted it with the Xbox One X. They're touting it now with the Series X. And I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm just saying that number isn't the only factor when comparing devices.
Listen, it's an important factor, clearly.
Apparently.
Because these are, like, I love that we're getting all of these things, like these made-up names for things that didn't exist because they've basically invented them in order to make these things and telling us those are the most important things.
Well, flops were a thing. They just were never something you latched onto until now.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like we don't care. Like, that's like, like if they're going to announce the new iPhone and tell us, like, gigaplexes are going to be like the next big thing that you need to make sure that your phone has at least 20 gigaplexes in it before you you get it.
I can't have anything less than 25 gigaplexes.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's for this generation. Yeah. Soon we're going to have, a 40 gigaplex.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series X are going to be impressive pieces of hardware. I think the innovations that are going to come from it, and I don't know the details of the Xbox One X. They haven't given me a Mark Cerny presentation like PlayStation did, where they're talking about what to actually experience. They're talking about the ray tracing, and he was also talking about the ray tracing when it comes to audio design and how they've actually designed audio. Taking into account like ear canals and studying how we hear sound is so fascinating. Deciding how sound bounces around a room so that when you hear it, okay, I'm talking about you as a player, how we hear sound and how we can locate where the sound is coming from. They studied this, and they have implemented this kind of thing into the game so that not only do you hear that there's a sound coming from behind you, you can actually pinpoint where behind you that sound is coming from. To me, that is absolutely fascinating. To me, that is much more big than saying, hey, we got 15 teraflops of processing power.
Yeah,
it's great. But what are you going to do with it?
How am I going to make use of those teraflops at home? That's the key.
What
and
does
that's
it mean for us as a player? And that's what I really enjoyed about the PS5 announcement with Mark, was he was explaining how we as players are going to experience what they're working on.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's fantastic. I love that, you know? Literally ray tracing for the human ear. And he's saying that right now it's still a work in progress. One thing that was really fascinating, he says, we don't know how we're doing it yet. We're still talking about it. He says, maybe you send in a picture of your ear and they'll design a mapping, a sound
don't do
mapping.
That they're just trying to get. They're just trying to start an ear registry. Don't give them your ear information. That's going to be the new social insurance number.
It's
just social security number is your ear mapping. That's going to be how they're going to get access to your banking. They're going to go into your bank. It's like I'd like to withdraw all of Sean's money, please. We need to see your ear, and then you're going to have like an ear prosthetic, and then I'm going to drain your bank account because I know what your ear looks like.
Right.
That's what's going to happen.
No, but so basically everybody hears differently, and that's what he's talking about. Is so they have mapped sound. They've done a mapping of Mark Cerny's ears of how he hears things, and they've made a map based on that, and basically it allows him to experience the game and the game's sounds specifically for his ears, and so he can distinctly hear things all around him from distance, from close up, and he can tell exactly where that sound's coming from. But it's different for each person, right? And so maybe there's going to be a way that they can design that hearing spectrum, whatever you want to call it, specifically for you as a player. And they're still talking about, how could we do this? How can we deliver a very distinct, personalized hearing spectrum for each player? And I'm like, that is a really fascinating thing to talk about when it comes to gaming. They've never done this before, So, hearing through a headphone, they want to design the sound so that no matter what I hear, I can distinctly tell where it is and how far away it is.
Which, for games, Call of Duty and stuff like that, where you're playing a shooter, like knowing like, hey, I heard that guy step on a branch, 20 yards ahead of me and to the left.
Exactly. No, that's exactly it.
So I'm going to land a helicopter in that spot.
Well, that's, that would be Ghost Recon.
Aggressively land a helicopter.
Yes. So anyway, I found it very fascinating. It was almost like, I'm not saying the whole thing was fascinating, because there was times when I'm like, please just move on. I don't know what you're talking about. But it was so, like, just listening of how they have gone about designing the PS5 hardware. And again, just listening to him drone on was just like, man, it was like, I could listen to him forever, It's almost like Todd Howard. It's like listening to Todd Howard talk. It was awesome. How about you, Chico? How's your gaming week been this week? Have you been doing any gaming? Like, I haven't actually done any gaming this week. No, actually I have. I got back into Assassin's Creed Odyssey finally. Jumping back into the DLC for that, yeah. That is absolutely a great game to jump into. It's such a massive game when you have this much time on your hands. I have finished all of those games 100%, cleared every single checkpoint, every single village, every single box opened. I have finished the entirety of the both Origins and Odyssey, all the DLC, even like the two. What is it? The Discovery, the tour? Virtual Discovery Tour. I've finished all of that as well. So I have nothing more to do in those games. I'm sorry to hear that.
So I've actually been playing through a lot more of Mad Max. I'm basically just going.
You're playing relevant games.
Yeah, absolutely. I looked actually because I popped an achievement the other day, and so I went to look at it, and so I popped an achievement this week, and then the last achievement I popped before that was 2015.
Oh my gosh!
So there's a 5-year gap between achievements popped in that game. That's how long ago I started that.
What month was it? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
But it would have been right around when it first came out. So I'm going to say...
I don't even remember. July,
September it came out. September 1st, 2015, that came out.
All right.
From memory, not from the screen that I'm looking at.
Okay.
From memory.
Good. A good memory there. You got a good memory palace.
I do. I do. I mean, I keep it digitally backed up, so in case I ever
Good.
need to.
Digital memory palace is good. It's good.
So what games, like, you must have a pile of shame, or I know I have a pile of shame of stuff that I started and maybe never finished that I need to go back to. What is on your pile as we continue our lockdowns?
All right. So, okay. So you want to do like another top 10 list here?
Let's do another, like, why not? Let's give some people some stuff that we know that we've got sitting there that they've probably got sitting there because it was part of a Games with Gold or a really cheap sale at some point.
Off the top of my head, of course, I've got Assassin's Creed Odyssey left to finish. So this is our top 10 backlog or games we want to finish. Not new games, backlog. Okay, so I've got Assassin's Creed Odyssey to complete. I haven't completed Spider-Man. I haven't completed the new God of War.
Okay.
What else is in my list? Senua's Sacrifice. Hellblade.
Oh, Hellblade, yeah.
Yeah, I got that to play. Oh God, I wish I could turn my PS4 on right now and see what is in my list. What's on your list?
Well, I've got my list in my memory bank that I'm looking at the screen for. So I have a Mad Max, which I'm playing through now. My plans are to finish that, although I suck at the driving story missions. But I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna do it. I know. The Shadow of War, Middle-earth Shadow of War.
The Middle-earth games, I haven't finished any of those. So
I finished the first one. The second one, I got almost to the end, and then I got put aside, and I need to go back to it. But it's one of those ones where you go back to it, and you're like 90% done, and you're just like, I can't remember how to do anything.
I don't remember how to play this game exactly.
So but we have time, so start from scratch. That's what I did with Mad Max. Like, I couldn't remember what I'd done, so I started from scratch.
Red Dead Redemption 2. Even though it was a game I did not enjoy at the time, but I'm wondering if I should give it another chance.
Yeah, that was my problem with it originally. It was so focused in and so many different like controls and stuff like that
too many controls, and I found it way too slow, because you got to remember, I jumped into Red Dead Redemption 2 after playing Assassin's Creed. Origins or Odyssey, I can't remember which year it was. And of course, you know how fast Odyssey moves. And then you jump into Red Dead, and I'm like, can you just move a little faster, please?
Yeah, I had the exact same problem.
I actually, physically, and I'm not even kidding, this is not exaggeration, I felt physically anxious because he was moving so slow. I'm not even kidding you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know how you get that restless anxiety? When you just need to move?
Like, I need to be over there. I can see where it is. And why am I going so slow?
Right. I physically felt that with Red Dead 2. Because it was so freaking slow.
And the other problem, too, is I fell off my horse a number of times and died, and then it resets you back to a spot. And I'm like, nope,
not doing that again.
It took me 20 minutes to get from here to there. I'm not going through that again. But that is absolutely a good one to put on the list. I've got Control on my list. I played bits of Control. I know you got stuck on that first
Can I tell
boss.
You something? Can I tell you something?
Yes, you may.
I was going through my games list the other day on my PS4. I deleted Control.
Interesting.
That's how much I hated it.
I liked Control. I did get past that spot where you were at, so I did enjoy the game. And I've tried
3 separate occasions to get past that.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking just trying once. On 3 separate occasions, I tried multiple times.
Sean, maybe you just need to be good at games.
I deleted the game, Chico. That is not a game. Maybe I just need you over here to... No, can't. We got a social distance.
No. I will cough on your stuff, and then you'll have to give me all of your consoles.
So you're on your way then, I guess.
Yeah. It's okay. Sorry, I coughed. That's what we should do in stores. I coughed on this, so I'm just going to take it.
Must be yours then. Yeah. I'm just going to take it.
You know what? Like, Division 2 is one that we can probably get back into. It's very relevant at this.
Yes. Oh my gosh, isn't it ever? Like, when they were talking about the New York quarantines, I'm like, wait a minute, I've played this game. You know? Yes,
Yeah, like
the Division 2 and Breakpoint.
and
I
Breakpoint. Yeah,
want to finish Breakpoint, Ghost Recon.
and those are ones we can do. We can socially distance while hanging out
Well,
together.
exactly.
I know there's the new Warlords DLC just came out for Division 2.
Yes, it did.
It's end game content, so we're nowhere near that. But these are ones that we can hop into and play. Like there's tons of stuff on my list of shame here that I've not ever I'm like going through. Dark Pictures Anthology, the first one. I've started it.
Medan. Yeah, Area and I need to get back down here and play that. For those of you who, I think I played it on the show for you, but remember the Area had this like ear-splitting scream playing that game. But that is like, I'm going to tell you, it is those experiences that make the games unforgettable.
Yeah, that was during your Extra Life.
It was during Extra Life where it was 11:30, almost midnight, and the house was all sleeping except for Area and I. We're playing Madam Medan, and she screams so loud it deafens my ear.
Yeah,
you know, and I could have sworn. See, I didn't. I felt like I got upset with her. I think I did because it was like just general reaction.
It was
not,
loud.
It was not about her. It was not about the scream. It was about the fact that if that wakes up your mother, she's going to think something's wrong. You know, it's going to scare your mother, but she didn't even wake up. So it was like, I was thinking more about don't make your mother think something's happened to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No panic.
Yeah.
A Plague Tale Innocence.
Oh yes. That's another one that's on my list.
That one there recently on Game Pass on both.
A Plague Tale. That's relevant.
There we go. It is. Maybe we should be putting together a list of
relevant games.
Relevant games. Pandemic the board game.
Well,
on Xbox, it's on Game Pass.
Oh, is it really?
It is on Game Pass by Asmodee Digital.
Multiplayer?
I think it must be.
Do they have the social distancing edition?
I think that's the whole point of a video game.
Okay, can we? All right, so I think we've definitely got a big top 10 list there of games.
Yeah.
But let's talk for a second about Pandemic, because that is a game. It's one of my favorite. It is actually my favorite board game, and it has been for years now since I first learned about it, and then subsequently bought it and played it and loved it. I have every edition of that game, but that is like how real does that game seem all of a sudden?
Well, all of these things, and this is exactly it. I think I joked to you early on in the stages of this when China and Italy, and again, maybe in bad taste, who knows, whatever. But I said it, when we were seeing the news that Italy was quarantined and lockdown. It's like somebody dropped a fourth cube on Italy.
Somebody dropped a fourth cube on Italy. Exactly. And then it created an outbreak, is what they call in the game, an outbreak. And then there's epidemic cards that just shuffle all those places back in, so they're going to get infected again. But yeah, that game feels so real. But just imagine if they created some social distancing edition of this game where there is a rule that you can't have two pawns within 3 cities of each other at all times. If one pawn moves and within 3, the other pawn is forced out or something.
Well, that's, one of the key components has trading cards.
Right. You can't trade cards anymore because you have to drop your cards in the city and then you have to go get them.
So a funny thing. So the video game, just reading it really quickly here. It features solo and local multiplayer modes.
Oh my gosh!
So sadly,
only local.
Yeah, but sadly, there is no online play available at time of writing. So this was in August. So
this is the non-social distancing edition.
We could play that using Mixer or Twitch or whatever the kids are using these days for.
Them darn kids, get off my lawn.
But we could do that with a Skype call or something like that, and hey, move my guy over there.
That's true. I suppose you could.
We could make it work.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a crazy world out there. I don't even know what I was going to say. All I'm thinking is we're pretty much approaching the end of the show. And I don't know if we have much left to talk about unless you have something.
Real quick, there. I'm looking through my list of stuff that I have to play, and I found a game on the Xbox that again works for today's climate. It's called Please Don't Touch Anything.
That's the name of the game?
That's the name of the game. It's a game where, like, I think if you touch stuff blows up and everything. It's like a puzzle game, but the fact that it's called Please Don't Touch Anything, I think is very
that's brilliant,
relevant for today's world.
Okay, I think for next week, Tico, we should work together, and we're going to create the top 10. I don't know what to call it now. The top 10.
Plague relevant games.
Yes, thank you. Socially relevant games.
All right.
The top 10 currently relevant games.
And these can be video game, board game,
whatever. Let's do the top 10 socially relevant games, and we'll pick the best of the, the Plague Inc. style games. Because there's the Plague Inc. It's like I think Plague Inc., if I noticed, on Google Play right now is the top paid game right now.
It probably is. I would not be surprised. I know they had pulled it from Italy and China for sale in Italy and China.
Of course they did.
Originally, it may be back now. I don't know, but
I'm pretty sure I own that game. I should look it up.
I definitely own that. I have it on my phone. It is on the Xbox as well. I'm pretty sure it's on the PlayStation.
Of course it is, and you've probably got all the achievements.
No, God, no. This one's not an easy game. It does not give me. I've got like 6 achievements in it. It is one of the very difficult games to.
Oh, really?
A lot of them are random chance. It's like win a game with the virus mutating to have like spider legs and.
Do you talking about achievements? It just came to mind. Do you have Microsoft's Solitaire and Sudoku on your phone? Because they have achievements.
I do.
Okay, of course you do.
I do. Yes.
And probably Wordament too, right?
Yeah, I love Wordament. Wordament is a super fun game.
Yeah. I've played the Microsoft Solitaire game for years. I love it. I love going into the daily challenges, and I just discovered that Microsoft Sudoku is available on Android.
Yep.
It didn't used to be.
No, it's about a month and a half old now.
Oh, okay. So I literally just discovered it like 2 days ago. So
yeah,
I love Sudoku. I have for years. So I've been playing that. I think it's one of the better Sudoku implementations. I've seen better. I mean,
yeah.
If I were designing it, there's certain things I'd do differently. Just when it comes to notes versus actually typing it in.
Placing it the number, yeah.
But I think it's a good implementation of Sudoku. It plays well, and I like the daily challenges. So, yeah, and I noticed they have achievements. So the weird thing about the phone games is they don't tell you when you popped an achievement.
No, they don't.
And I really wish they did.
I think you can. I think it depends on your notifications. I think you might be able to turn your notifications on for that, and it will pop up because I have seen them pop in the past.
Really?
You'll get a notification on it. And it might be because I actually have my notifications set on Xbox to give me a ding when I pop an achievement. So I actually get the thing. So it pops through the Xbox and I get a notification on it.
It may pop through my PC if I'm happen to be sitting there, but I'm upstairs like playing Sudoku. I'm not at my PC.
Do you have the Xbox app?
Well, because my computer is signed into Xbox Live because it's a Microsoft product. Then I see the notifications come up in my Windows notification bar.
Okay, so there's an Xbox app that you can get as well, like whatever their internal.
You mean
on
the phone?
On the phone.
Oh, I have it on the phone.
Okay, so just turn your notifications on for that, and it'll pop through on your phone as well.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, notifications for the Xbox app will tell you when you get an achievement.
Right.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Well, actually, all right. No, maybe not for the app. I have notifications set for Xbox Game Pass, so I'm getting notification of new games.
So you have the game because it's a separate app. There's the Game Pass app and then the Xbox app. So you need to.
Heaven forbid Xbox just have one app that does everything.
It's a lot of stuff.
I'm going to be honest. I open up my phone to Xbox. Let me see. I go into gaming, my gaming folder, and I see Xbox game streaming. I see Xbox Game Pass, and I see I have three different apps, all for Xbox. Why can they not just be one freaking app? Come on, Xbox. I mean, PlayStation's no different. PlayStation's got the PlayStation messages, they've got the PlayStation app, and then they've got the PlayStation second screen. All 3 different apps instead of just one app for all of them.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
They should, well, no, so I can get the streaming needing its own app.
Not really.
Yo, yes. Really, Sean. Really. Do you know how many flops that uses?
That's true. There's a lot of flops going on, and those gigaplexes.
And the gigaplex is
Yes.
it's important. Yeah. You know what I do miss though is I miss board gaming. I do miss we had
to cancel a board game session tomorrow just because, it's hard to play a game 6 feet away from people.
Yeah.
Especially Gloomhaven. But I just felt it was, because
it's for the best right
I'm self-quarantining and I'm doing it for a reason because my family works in retail and I'm not going to chance just, handing out viruses left, right, and center.
No, not for free, at least.
Not for free. No.
Yeah, no. I absolutely agree with that. It's certainly, particularly at this stage, we're not. It's not necessarily like I miss doing it. I miss the idea of it. I'm also a little sad. Like my son was supposed to be coming for a visit. It was like just under a month. He was supposed to be coming for a visit from Calgary. Those plans have now changed.
Of course.
His schooling is being pushed back and being done online now, and everything's sort of up in the air, as well as the travel. But he would have been here for a couple of weeks, and I would have had somebody like built in the house to play board games with. Leah's no good at board games. She is not.
Teach her.
She is not interested in, like, she'll play like Snakes and Ladders and stuff like that. But you want like a little bit more. And Shannon absolutely refuses to play board games with me because she has never beat me. And apparently
Dorothy's the same, but it's not because she hasn't beat me. It's because she does not enjoy board games.
Oh. Shannon doesn't enjoy losing to me because apparently
nobody enjoys losing to you, Tico.
I'm not a gracious winner, apparently.
You're not a gracious loser either.
No. So, I mean, that's the thing. So I may as well, at least I'm better when I win.
Anyway. Let's talk about winning some more next week when we talk about our top 10 socially relevant games. And that is pretty much it for this episode of the OMG Hour. Episode 362, the social distancing episode. You can follow the show on Twitter at the OMG Hour. I am Zion Tane everywhere, and that is XIANTAYNE. And thanks for everybody for listening, and thank you for watching. Tico.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Who are you?
Thank you for watching, Tico. I am Tico, Mr. Second Place, and you can follow me on the Twitters at Mr. Second Place.
Excellent. Thanks again. We'll talk to you all again next week.
Bye, guys.
So if you like that show, and why wouldn't you like that show, especially while you're self-quarantining, right?
Like, what else is there to do?
There's not much else to do except, press that button right down there, subscribe.
Hang on, wait.
Subscribe. And then press, check out these other videos. I think you might like some of them. If you like them, give us a thumbs up.
Do it.
Press that icon and subscribe. And thanks for joining us. See you, everybody.